Hello and welcome to the Comic Cave. I'm Ramsey, aka Captain Away, and today I'm looking at the collection for the 2016 event story, Superman. The Final Days of Superman. Ooh, it must be special. They put Superman in there twice. That's like double super. In case you haven't been watching my videos for the past month and a half or so, let's repeat the highlights here. Flashpoint reset the entire DC universe to an earlier point in its history, creating alternate storylines for its heroes to have followed. In this world, Superman's parents died when he was a teenager. The world was a lot less initially trusting of him, and he was not only no longer married to his extremely long-time love interest of Lois Lane, but was even actually dating fellow Justice League member Wonder Woman. The main highlight of his New 52 storyline was when he lost most of his superpowers, leading to his identity getting exposed and Vandal Savage nearly taking over the world with evil comet powers. But with the help of, ironically, a bunch of kryptonite, Clark Kent recovered the powers and became Superman once again, just in time to die. Yep, you heard me right. The publication decision at DC headquarters was that the time had come for Superman to die. I mean, again. Because, again, super unclear as to whether or not he died the first time against Doomsday in this continuity. So you're forgiven if the rather fluid nature of death in comic books, coupled with having literally seen this character die before, makes it a little hard to care when the title of the story is literally, hey, this guy dies at the end. But they do say it's the journey, not the destination, so let's see if we can at least give it that as we take this away. The comic opens with science! Ah yeah, jumping right into the good stuff. Supes has been busy in his fortress running test after test, but sadly for him, they all point to one thing. He's dying. Yeah, the title kinda clued us into that, buddy. Superman attributes his state to three basic causes. One being exposure to the fire pits on the planet Apokolips, the homeworld of ultimate villain Darkseid, as happened in the pages of the main Justice League comic. Another is his battle with the Kryptonian god Rao, which happened in the pages of Justice League of America, the short-lived series from Brian Hitch, and not the first volume under the same title that came out earlier during the New 52. The final of the three causes is his tanning bed trip to the world's largest stockpile of kryptonite, as happened in the pages of his own comic, as I covered last week. Superman pretty quickly goes through the various stages of grief before essentially settling on acceptance and decides it's time to say goodbye to everyone he knows. He starts with his oldest friend, Lana Lang, who he asks to try and see to it that he's buried next to his mom and dad, if she's able to find some way to actually make that happen. Next, he actually goes to see Lois Lane, because of course he does. And because he has a request of her, too. He wants her to write about the life of Superman and Clark Kent, to make sure she tells a rounded story that's not just about what the public already saw. From there, he meets up with his best pal Batman, who's not super good at losing people, in case you didn't know, but also not one to talk about his emotions out loud. Oh Batman, you're such a tsundere. Batman references how they brought Damian back to life just, a couple years ago, to suggest that this may not actually be the end for Superman. But Superman's all like, look buddy, the editors have made up their minds. It's really the end this time. So all he really wants from Batman is the chance to say goodbye, and some help finding his cousin Kara, since she hasn't been around since extremely randomly losing her powers on the very last page of her New 52 series. Supes and Bats manage to track her down to a lab in National City where some scientists are experimenting on her. In a rage, Superman bursts into the lab, breaks Kara free, and flies away with her, only to find her not particularly grateful for the rescue. Turns out she wasn't captured. The lab actually belonged to the Department of Extra Normal Operations, who had offered to help her try and restore her powers if she agreed to work with them. Something we'll learn a lot more about in the upcoming Rebirth Supergirl series, and you can learn about now thanks to my already existing review of it. Superman wants Kara to fill the gap his death is going to leave behind, so he offers her the keys to his kingdom. Or really to the Fortress of Solitude. Even though, as Kara points out, he's actually already given her a key to it once before, but this one apparently unlocks more of the fortress than just the guest key. Even that one closet that you must never look in. Ever. You know what I'm talking about. Kara's unsure about filling his boots, seeing the distrust the world had for him and thinking it better to essentially fly under the radar, but Superman insists that it's better to be a shining example of hope, so she agrees to try. But almost the very moment that she does, they're interrupted by the appearance of Wonder Woman. Back when Superman lost his powers before Savage Dawn, his feeling of inadequacy grew and grew, and dating the most powerful woman in the world didn't really help that any. So he grew increasingly more annoyed with their relationship and eventually broke up with her, though it turns out Diana wasn't quite aware the relationship had ended. So when Batman tells her that Superman is dying in an issue of Superman Wonder Woman, she gets pretty angry that she didn't hear it from Superman first. So she decides to head to the fortress and confront him about it. Supergirl flies off to give them some alone time while Superman claims he was just building up to telling her because he knew that telling her would be the most difficult. Yeah, sure, Supes, sure. He decides to rekindle their relationship, but before they can get too personal, they're interrupted by a call from the Justice League. The emergency call has to do with this rando named Denny Swan who escaped from prison at some point and is on the run when he's suddenly hit by some kind of flaming meteor thing that turns him into a fire Superman? Oh, I get it. There's two Supermans in this story. That's why his name is in the title twice. I see what you did there, DC. Very clever. This Denny Swan guy doesn't just get Superman's powers and desire to help people though, he gets his memories as well, causing him to even show up for work at the Daily Planet, despite obviously not working there. He straight up kills the security guard that won't let him up the elevators and then proceeds to head into the office anyway like nothing happened. Only, after Superman's secret identity was revealed, Fury fired him, so Clark's desk has already gone to someone else. The lack of recognition he's getting pisses fake Clark off to no end, and he ends up killing two more security guards before being brought down by Lois in a taser? Really? That's all it took? Okay. So now Sun Superman is in super jail in Argus, and Rex Superman and Wonder Woman go to check him out. Wait, that sounded wrong. Go to check out what his thing. Nope, no. Well, anyway, they go see him. There they realize he looks like a Superman composed of the energy from Superman's solar flare ability, which Superman first used in his battle against Ulysses. Since Ulysses is also being kept in Argus jail, Superman goes to speak with him to see if he's noticed any weird side effects from the solar flare, while Diana stays behind to have a chat with Denny. Denny, still fully convinced that he's Superman, even after seeing the actual Superman, thinks that his girlfriend has betrayed him and gets angry enough to break out of his cage, blacking out the power at the facility, which also frees Ulysses. Ulysses takes the opportunity to get his revenge on Superman, but somehow quickly comes to realize that he doesn't even need to. Superman's already a goner anyway. With the phony Superman having escaped, Supes and Diana enlist Batman's help in seeking him out. And Superman's impending death must have made Bats a little sentimental because he actually expresses happiness that Superman and Wonder Woman have patched things up and says he doesn't mind helping because hey, that's what friends are for. To which Superman replies, "Oh Bats, we're not friends. We're super friends." Ugh. Look, I appreciate your dying and all, Superman, but let's leave the bad dad jokes to me, okay? I'm a professional. Batman has traced down a signal for the Solar Superman to a lab in China, so the trio head there, but they're blocked from getting where they want to go by the appearance of the Great 10. At least that's what they call themselves. I mean, I only count 6 of them. 7 if you count the weird demon dog dragon thing, which I do. Obviously. The Great 10 are actually still fairly recent characters, first appearing in the Maxi Series 52, before making their first New 52 appearance here, in this post-New 52 era from just before Rebirth. Still with me? I wonder if I've said 52 times in a video yet. The 10 are like, you three don't belong here. China is none of your business. You shall not pass. And the Trinity are like, yeah, we are though. And the Great 10 are like, oh, well, okay then. So all, 13 of them go together to the source of the signal, leading them to the lab of one Dr. Omen. Omen, which, cool name by the way, has been doing secret things secretly in her secret lab this entire time. We actually saw her in the first issue hacking into the computers in the Fortress of Solitude, which she was able to do thanks to the mess of everything Vandal Savage made when he combined the fortress with the watchtower in the Stormwatch carrier. She also sent these dragon demon things after Superman and Batman when they were looking for Kara earlier, and one even managed to collect a blood sample from Soups. Now we find that this whole time she's been working on some kind of Chinese Superman project. I'm guessing the successor to the one we saw happening in New Suicide Squad. While all the heroes argue about what to do, she simply lets her experiment loose and it's gone. I'm not sure if this was originally supposed to be the introduction of Kenny Kong, the new Superman from the DC Rebirth, or not. But if it was, that means we now have 3 Supermans up in here. Whoa, that's one too many Supermans for your title. Now you need to call it Superman, the final days of Superman, and the first days of Superman. And that's just too long of a title. Maybe that's why they never really reveal what's going on here, and the 3 American heroes simply head back home to the US of A to get back on the trail of their solar Superman. But problems just keep on building, because now whatever mysterious thing that's killing Superman is making him too weak to fly, and Denny Boy is seen showing up to Lois's place to talk to her, in a creepy reflection of when the actual Superman did the same thing earlier in the first issue. Even though solar Superman has been acting pretty much entirely off of the information in his head from Superman's life, he's now wanting to show Lois something that neither Superman nor Denny should know about. Because if he didn't, we'd probably have to come up with an actual reason to move the plot forward. And that could take a whole nother issue or so. We don't got time for that. So Denny takes Lois to this random farmhouse. Okay. Where a father and son are making pancakes for dinner. Well, okay then. Maybe he just smelled the pancakes. I mean, pancakes are delicious. Who doesn't like pancakes? The man living there says his name is Clark White, and he introduces his son as Jonathan. And Denny points out how much this Clark looks like another Clark, even though up to this point he's been insisting he's the real Superman, and also how much Clark White's wife looks just like Lois. Accusing Mr. White of hiding something, he blasts him with solar energy, revealing him to be... what the hell? Another Superman? How many Supermans are in this thing? Now we have to call this, I don't know, Superman, the final Superman days of Superman. And Superman. That's just too many Supermans. You keep this up, and I'm going to have to take away your Superman privileges, DC. You're gonna just have to start getting rid of some of these Supermans. Black Suit Superman and Solar Superman fight, but after a moment, the Superman we know shows up with Batman and Wonder Woman, and so does the other Lois. So Black Suit Soups just nopes on out of there with his family. Well, at least he took the dog and the cat. So you know he's a good guy. This little family unit actually first appeared during the Convergence event, which was about a multi-universal brainiac taking cities out of doomed universes instead of from doomed planets, which allowed the expansion of the DC multiverse into something resembling the pre-Crisis on Infinite Earths DC multiverse. There we saw a Superman and Lois with a baby, and they traveled with a bunch of dead pre-Crisis superheroes back into the past to restore the multiverse to its proper state. Their mission apparently a success, they ended up on New 52 Earth, where they decided to live in secret since that world already had its own Superman and Lois Lane. Their time on Earth Prime is chronicled as much as it's probably ever going to be in Superman, Lois and Clark, which also confirms for us that this is the pre-Flashpoint Superman and Lois. They run off to this Superman's own little fortress of secrets, where they realize they have a lot of explaining to do for their son. Meanwhile, back at the farm, Superman and Denny duke it out, with Supergirl even showing up to help despite still being mostly depowered, and Batman actually ramming Denny with his Batplane. Seems like that would do nothing at all to regular Superman and instead just destroy the plane, so good thing this guy is simultaneously drastically less powerful than Superman normally is, and more powerful than Superman currently is. The fight is driving Denny's powers into overdrive, to the point that he's in danger of exploding, so Soups tries to fly him up into space where he can explode without hurting anyone. He can't quite make it on his own, but luckily he gets a little boost from the pre-Flashpoint Superman showing up again to help out. Black Suit Soups says they're in this together, but once they're high enough in the atmosphere, New 52 Soups says, "The world's gonna need ya, buddy," and punches Black Suit Soups away. Anybody else confused yet? Denny then explodes, and the remaining Superman absorbs all the energy, because that's something he can do now, I guess, before falling back to Earth. Once he's back down, whatever it is that's killing him takes its toll, and he only has a few moments to say his final goodbyes to everyone, including Still and Lana Lang, who conveniently showed up out of nowhere all of a sudden. I do notice he doesn't get to say goodbye to Crypto, though, and that's just sad. The dog's important too, okay? Finally, as Diana tells him to simply let go, he explodes with a burst of energy that seems to go into Lana and Lois before he simply turns to stone? Huh, that's a bit weird. The Black Suit Superman flies off, saying he'll be in touch, and then we cut to a few wordless reactions from various characters we've met throughout these series. Luthor, Dr. Omen, Ulysses, Lee Lambert and the Three Wise Men in Smallville, both introduced in Action Comics, Jimmy Olsen, I think, and finally Lois, who is busy meeting Superman's last request. And I noticed that she apparently uses Microsoft Word on all of its default settings in order to write her articles. That seems like an amateur move to me, but okay. And with that, the comic ends, so let's get to the breakdown. The biggest problem with this comic is the plot, which is primarily just pushed forward by outside forces instead of necessarily following any kind of logical flow. Characters just kind of do things or know things or go to places just because that's what they need to do or know or where they need to go so that the story can happen. It's more like someone was just going down a checklist of things they needed to happen for this story, and most of those checks were things to set up upcoming DC Rebirth titles. Introducing Supergirl's comic? Check. Introducing new Superman? Check. Introducing the Superman that'll be in all the Rebirth comics? Check, check, check. But that does kind of fit what the story is about, honestly. It's like it's somebody's last-minute bucket list. Connect with loved ones, visit beautiful mainland China, hang out with my besties. It's also weird to me that they felt the need to kill the character at all. Literally every other character gets to stay their New 52 self, but Superman alone was the one character you feel you failed so hard at that you had to just kill him off so you could specifically replace him with a previous version of himself? I don't know, kinda weird to me, honestly. Also, while it's a little annoying that they never explain what is actually killing Superman, they don't really need to. His mysterious illness is a perfect stand-in for whatever disease, and anyone who has had to watch a once strong loved one wither away into nothing from something their bodies and modern medicine just can't fight will probably honestly get a lot of feels from just what's happening to Superman here. It might help a little that this time, probably, the character actually will stay dead. Also, I feel like the art in this series is honestly gorgeous, some of the best I've seen from the entire New 52. So I am gonna say that this means that I'm giving this series a recommendation level of medium. While the plot definitely could have been better and less of an obvious setup for upcoming Rebirth titles, it deals with the subject matter pretty well and still pays a hero some proper respect for his send-off into oblivion. The collected edition gets one Superman t-shirt, and that's just fine. It's 8 issues with some bonus covers and a little bit of bonus art. It's hardly a bad collection, but like the story it's collecting, it's not gonna wow you either. Thanks everybody for watching. I am officially done with Superman. For like at least a week. In all honesty, I was doing this mainly so I could get to Rebirth Superman, which is the series I actually wanted to cover, but since I've been doing Superman so much lately, I'm gonna try and take a little break before I get to that. But regardless of when I get to it, I will keep covering series, especially ones that you guys request. So as always, keep those comments, requests, questions, and whatever coming. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I hope to see you next time, right here in the Comic Cave.